Hey everybody, watch this review here with a look at Prince Dastan from McFarlane's Prince of Persia, Sands of Timeline, to commemorate the movie, which will be out sometime in May. McFarlane has come out with two sets of figures, one for a 4-inch line and then one for the 6-inch line. The 6-inch line looks more like what I've traditionally come to expect from McFarlane in terms of pre-poses and stuff, but in addition it also has just action features like they'll swing swords and stuff. So honestly I do prefer the 4-inch line. I saw all four figures in stores and I was just going to pick up one of them. I was really looking at Satam here, but the packaging mentions that he comes with a sword, but I didn't see a sword with him in box, so I figured I'd just get a prince and play it on the safe side. As you can see, there are two princes in this wave, which might be the only wave, and then Zolm, one of the bad guys, and Satam, another one of the assassins, which of course is the root word for assassin. Of course, if I do end up picking up the Almut Gate, or Almut Gate, I don't know how this is pronounced, I will feel a little bit silly because this figure does look a lot like this one. He's also available with horse, and not pictured, but there is a Target exclusive Sands of Time effect one with a orange arm and dagger. On the whole, this is just some very nice packaging, although the back of the box leaves a bit to be desired because it has more general information on it than actual pictures. Prince comes with two swords of similar design, although the hilts and the coloring are a bit different, both of which attach into the sheaths on his back, or I don't know if you'd call it a sheath or scabbard or what, but just slides in there like that, and there. Now this is a pretty cool looking head sculpt. I mean, I think it's a okay likeness of the actor, but I mean it's definitely an improvement over some lines where you have like a figure's face that doesn't even look too humanish, so definite points there. I like the amount of detail put into the armor. There's a good amount of texturing. The only problem is the paint is a little bit sloppy, and I don't like the fact that they just painted on the bands on the arm here instead of giving us a little sculpt. But as you can see, I have a paint error just right along here, and each of the other ones I saw in the store had minor paint errors, but I mean nothing huge. On the whole, I do think this is a pretty cool looking figure. And despite the paint app being a little sloppy in places, this is definitely a quality paint job with a rich variety of color. And this is a pretty impressive effort for a company not really known for having 4-inch lines. In terms of articulation, the figure is mostly ball joints, but he does have a rotating wrist, which I don't like as much. But then we have a ball jointed elbow here, good full range of motion, ball jointed shoulder, head has a usual range of motion, can look up a little bit, but not a tremendous amount. But, I mean, anything's good. Waist rotates full 360, but be careful not to leave your sword in the sheaths when you're doing that because these things are very brittle and they break. Gotta glue that back together later. I wasn't so much impressed with the hip joint here just because you can't get it to go straight up, mostly due to the sculpt or the nature of the ball joint. But I mean, as you can see, if you go out to the side, you do get the full range of motion. So he can sit and apparently that's just pop out like that. So in case you're wondering what kind of a joint they have, these are just straight up ball joints. Which looks kind of funky. Knee, same deal as everything else, it's just another ball joint. And then down here at the foot we have another ball joint. Well, not a real ball joint, but it'll go down, then side to side all around. In terms of height, the Prince is only 3.5 inches, which puts him basically on par with the X-Men Origins line if you're cross-displaying stuff. He is considerably shorter than the somewhat large Iron Man 2 line and the larger of the Marvel Universe figures, but he does more or less fit in with, say, G.I. Joes and the more average-sized Marvel Universe figures. Now, so far I've only seen these figures at Target and for $8, which I feel is a little bit steep for this line, but that is comparable to Marvel Universe figures and to a lesser extent the Iron Man 2 line, which you can generally find for around $7. Just due to the artsmanship and just the level of detail, I'd say it's probably worth picking up at least one figure from the line, and your best bet's probably going with one of the versions of the Prince, whether you get the sort of adventure look here or the more traditional kind of costume version with that little head garb and everything. The other option, of course, being the Target exclusive Sands of Time version, which isn't pictured here, but I didn't think that looked as nice just because of the translucent arm, and I'm not sure if you can actually remove the dagger from that hand, which would be a concern for me. Considering I probably would want him posed maybe scaling a wall or swinging from something, so, you know, pretty pleased with this figure. I think it's just a little bit pricey, but hey, you know, whatever. Until next time, folks.